Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome back to the DeeTimeLove show. And today we've got a very interesting video. We've got another brand new release from Spinnaker watches, another watch from the Hull range. Now, this was a watch originally that I wasn't going to review, but I had a lot of demand from you guys, my followers, my subscribers, just asking me general questions on my thoughts on the Spinnaker Hull Chrono. Since I reviewed the automatic version, I thought I'd get my hands on this. I got in contact with Spinnaker. They obliged. They sent in the watch for review. And yes, I do get to keep the watch, which is great news for myself. But it is a quartz watch, guys. It's not an automatic. However, there's good reason for it being quartz because it comes in at $235 US. And for me, for what you're getting, it's pretty competitive. Great bang per buck. There aren't many watches out there with this type of aesthetic, this look for that price point. You really would have to look at the micro brands, but we'll go into that in more detail. But what I want to do first of all, before I give you my first impression and my final thoughts, let's go through the specification to see what you're getting at $235 US. Now let's look at the case diameter. You're looking at 42 millimeters in terms of case diameter. Case thickness is fairly big, it's fairly chunky. It comes in at 15.6 millimeters. So it's a lot thicker than the dive variant, the automatic variant. A little bit surprised, but maybe that's to do with the chronograph quartz complication. In terms of lug to lug width, you're looking at 48 millimeters. So in terms of size, lug to lug width and diameter, exactly the same as the original hulls that I reviewed. And the lug width is 22 millimeters. And the leather band tapers down to 20 millimeters. So let's just spin this bad boy over to see what we have behind it. And there we have a non-clear case bag, as it is a Mega Quartz Seiko movement. And I read on Spinnaker's website, they're calling it a Seiko Hybrid Mega Quartz Precision movement. So I don't really know what type of Mega Quartz this is, but they're saying it's some sort of hybrid. I don't know what they mean by that. It's something that I will need to read into a little bit more. But it says that they're Japanese Mega Quartz movement, which is a Seiko movement. So you have the reliability of a Seiko movement, which is a no-brainer if you're a micro brand like Spinnaker. And you can see 100 meters water resistant there. Very good, fair enough. They've played it very safe, Spinnaker, as I would have expected, as they use the Seiko NH35 automatic movements in the majority of their watches. But let's have a look at the dial here. And as you can see, they've actually got the date function at 12 o'clock. Interesting, they've gone for that. Very cool, something different. Normally get it at 6 o'clock or 4 o'clock or even 3 o'clock, but I guess it's to fit the actual movement, the configuration of this Seiko quartz movement. They've gone for that style, and I think they've pulled it off very well. Now, if you look at this dial, it is a textured dial. Just below 12 o'clock, just below the date function, you've got the applied Spinnaker logo, and it's executed very well, as Spinnaker do with the majority of their watches. And below that, they've got that red font that gives it a bit of a pop there. That red font really breaks up the dial a little bit. And you've got 100 meters water resistant. I like the hands. I love the sub dials as well. Just that textured dial and the way they've done it with the loom. Now, it's a 2-tray dial you can see here. So it looks like there's an inner tray is the loom tray, Swiss Super Luminova loom there, and they've literally cut out holes in the actual dial so you can see the actual loom below. So it's not applied on top like you get with some other watches, which I think was pretty neat, very cool, something that I haven't seen before, to be honest with you. I'd always see watches with the loom applied on top. So they've got a loom tray below, very cool. So the 3 o'clock sub dial is a 24-hour sub dial, and at 6 o'clock you've got the second sub dial, and at 9 o'clock you've got the hour sub dial. Very cool. I love the hands. I love that patina look. Let's just give this a little wipe. Let's get smudges everywhere. In terms of the finishing of the case, you've got sort of brushed finish, steel finish on the actual bezel, on the tachymeter. Very cool, very nice indeed. And you've got a high-end finish polish on the rest of the case. I love the design of the case. Very Panerai. It's not totally a homage of a Panerai. It has got a sprinkle, a flavour of Spinnaker to this. So there's not an outright copy or anything like that. But you can see where they've taken their inspiration from, for sure, 100% there. So if you're a Panerai fan, you probably won't like it. But if you're someone who's striving to buy a Panerai, or you like this type of look, then this type of style, this type of aesthetic, with a little switch of a little sprinkle of vintage vibe, it's very, very cool indeed. Now let's have a look at the actual chronograph functions and the pushers. That is screw down pushers and crown. It is 100 meters water resistant, and that's a very nice touch at this price, but it feels reasonable quality for the price. I'll tell you what, you know, you think you're holding at least a £400 to £500 watch for sure. But let's check out this mega quartz movement. What is all the fuss about? So not quite a smooth sweeping hand like you get with the automatic version. Let's put this side by side so you can see the mega quartz in action in comparison to the NH35 movement. Now the NH35 movement beats at 21,600 beats per hour. I'm not entirely sure what the mega quartz beats at, but you can see the difference there. And straight away, if I can show you guys the thickness and get these side by side somehow. How are we going to do this? Ooh, bit tricky. When I say to it, it's a lot thicker. Yeah, it's a lot thicker than the other one. This one is 12 millimeters thick. This one is 15 millimeters thick. So if you don't like thick watches, just bear that in mind if you do decide to purchase this particular timepiece. But overall, what are my first impressions? Well, look, I can see the logic behind it. It's, you know, Spinnaker have got a wide range of watches, and if you wanted to introduce a chronograph, I guess the whole range is probably one of the best ranges to introduce it. I love the case. I think it's very cool indeed. For the money, you can't argue with what you're getting. Probably the only disappointing thing, I know there's always going to be people that are not happy. Hold on a second. Let's just play with the chronograph here for a second. Yes, very nice. Okay. There's always going to be people say, oh, it's not an automatic. It's not this, it's not that. It hasn't got sapphire crystal. Well, look, I had a look at the website and they do contradict Spinnaker. You need to check this out. There's one side where it says it's on the whole other range. It's, I believe, a hardened mineral crystal with a sapphire coating and an anti-reflective coating on there as well. I'm not sure if this one is the same. So, it's definitely mineral. It's not sapphire, that's for sure. I guarantee it's not a sapphire crystal. It's some sort of mineral crystal with an anti-reflective coating, and you can see the blue sheen there. How good is the coating on this? It's okay. I've got it under spotlight, so it's going to look a little bit different under this lighting than it would with natural lighting. But overall, what are my thoughts? It's a hard one. I mean, I absolutely love the hull. You know, I love the original hull and the other range. I absolutely love them. I think they're very cool indeed. So I'm a little bit biased. I absolutely love this model, and I'm delighted to have something like this and the chronograph variant. And I understand that, you know, it's very hard to get any sort of mechanical chronograph watch, you know, around the $200 US mark. So, you know, you're going to be looking at quartz, unfortunately, unless you go all Chinese, you know, or there's got these watches out there, I think they're called Alpha or some sort, which are very much, you know, they're just literally rip-offs, real, you know, homages of other watches like the Rolex Daytona as such. So this has got something a bit more individual about it. It's got that Spinnaker vibe, you know, that you find in all their watches, that vintage retro style with the Spinnaker, you know, leather band, quite stiff when you get them. It's got the Spinnaker, you know, logo there. Very cool. Water resistant. You know, I wouldn't use this in the pool. you know, with this particular leather strap. Maybe if you put it on a mesh or some sort, or, you know, some sort of waterproof NATO strap as such. But very cool. I mean, even on a rubber strap, this will look really good, to be honest with you. I'll be honest with you, I'll probably match this up to the Spinnaker tropical rubber strap they sent in. Very cool indeed. But overall, I think, what is my view on this? It's an attractive watch. Aesthetically, if you love the vintage design, it's definitely going to be a cool watch to own. It's not, you know, it's not a watch that you build your collection. It is, yet again, another add-on watch. As a grab and go watch. If you like the Hull and you didn't want an automatic version and you wanted a grab and go watch, then this could be the watch for you. At $235 US, I think it's extremely good value. There aren't many options out there with this type of aesthetic, I have to say. There are other micro brands. There is another one. I think my friend brought the, what's it called? The Dan Henry Gran Turismo 1964, I believe. Pretty cool watch. I just don't like the Dan Henry. I love the design, but I just don't like the logo, having someone else's name on the watch. It just seems a little bit weird for me. I believe Spinnaker, you know, I'm not saying it's a stronger brand or anything, but I think they've got a bit more going with for them in terms of what they produce. But nothing wrong with Dan Henry. I've got nothing against them. It's just my personal preference. I actually do prefer the Spinnaker Hull Chrono. It's got the screw down pushers, very good indeed. 100 meters water resistant. I think it's a cool watch. I would recommend them. If you're on the market, if you don't want to get a boring Seiko, what can you really get for $200 US, or say 250? Just the micro brands. There's going to be Citizens out there. They're going to be Eco Drive as well. There's loads of Seikos out there. I don't know. You probably get just standard quartz, not even part of the Prospects range or anything like that. I don't think you'll get anything as attractive as this, I have to say. But let's get it on the wrist. Let's see what this bad boy looks like on the wrist. And my wrist in the summer is actually around 7 inches. So my wrist is really swollen up with the heat. But yeah, it fits perfectly, to be honest with you. It's a really nice fit at 42 millimeters. The lug to lug width is good for me. You know, I really do look at the full, you know, 48 millimeters fits me perfectly, and 42 is my sort of benchmark, you know, where I don't really, you know, I know my limits. 42 millimeters is really perfect for me, to be honest with you. Anything bigger starts to become a little bit too big, to be fair, but sits on the wrist perfectly. Guys, look, if you like the look of this watch, you guys know I've been totally honest and transparent with you guys. I am an affiliate with Spinnaker. But I like to give you guys critical and honest reviews. I never want to push any watch on anybody. But when you do purchase a watch this way, it does help the channel. It does help me grow the channel. It keeps me producing videos and coming back with honest reviews. And overall, it's decent. You know, I'm not saying it's a game changer or anything like that. But if you like this Panerai type of look and you want something not totally a homage, this could be a winner for you. It's a nice grab and grow chrono beta watch that you can wear as a daily watch, in my opinion. I think it will be absolutely fine. But look, guys, leave your comments below. Let me know your thoughts on this watch. Now that I've shown this watch on video, let me know what your thoughts are. Now, if you're interested in this watch, you can sign up. There's a link below. I believe the watch will be available to purchase in the next few weeks. I'll also leave a link to my promo code. So if there's anything you like on there, you do get a considerable discount via the DeeTimeLove channel. So feel free to buy as many as you want, because it helps me out. I'm only joking. Look, guys, I will never push anyone to buy a watch. Look, if you like the watch, buy it. If you don't buy it. It's not going to be for everybody. Like I said, you know, it's a particular style. It's a particular preference, depending on the type of watch guy that you are. But I don't mind it. I think it's very cool. I love the look of the case. I love the bezel. I love the way they've designed this, the 2-tray layout on the dial. So what they've done there, they've got basic holes on the dial, and the underneath tray is Swiss Super Luminova Lume, which is very cool. I've never seen that. Normally they've always applied it on top, and you can see, like, you know, the lume applied on top. But I love the way they've done that. Very cool. And if I zoom in close enough, You can see how they've smoked out the dial as well. Don't know how well you can see that in this lighting, but slightly smoked in the center, and it sort of gets darker as we look around the dial. But very cool, guys. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the content. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys. See you soon.